The Roman Forum, the heart of ancient Rome, served as a vibrant center for public life, encompassing political, social, and religious activities since the 6th century BC and playing a crucial role in pivotal events like elections and public speeches that shaped Roman society. However, following the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the 5th century CE, the Forum experienced decline as citizens abandoned the city and the structures fell into disrepair. Interest in the Forum was rekindled during the Renaissance, leading to significant archaeological excavations in the 18th and 19th centuries, uncovering the remnants of its grandeur and highlighting the enduring legacy of Roman civilization that the site represents today. The best preserved structures of this complex include the Senate House or Curia, the Arch of Titus, the Temple of Saturn, the Rostra, the Arch of Septimius Severus, the Temple of Vesta, the Basilica of Maxentius and Constantine, the Arch of Constantine, the Temple of Caesar, the Via Sacra, the Temple of Antoninus and Faustina, the Temple of Vespasian and Titus, the Domus Tibriana, and the Temple of the Castors. The Senate House or Curia was the central hub for the Roman Senate, where senators convened to debate and decide on crucial matters affecting the Republic. Originally constructed in the 7th century BC, the building was rebuilt several times, with its final iteration completed by Emperor Diocletian in the late 3rd century CE. The design of the Curia featured a large rectangular space adorned with marble and frescoes that embodied the significance of the Senate within Roman governance. It played a crucial role in the political landscape of Rome and served as a testament to the concept of civic duty and the complexities of Roman political life. The Arch of Titus was erected in 81 CE by Emperor Domitian to honor his late brother Titus. This monumental arch commemorates Rome's victories during the Jewish War. The Arch of Titus is adorned with exquisite reliefs that depict the spoils of Jerusalem, including the famous menorah being brought back to Rome. This architectural marvel not only functioned as a triumphal monument but also symbolized the might of the Roman Empire and its ability to expand its influence through military conquests. The arch remains a key example of Roman commemorative architecture and serves as an artistic representation of the empire's historical narratives. The Temple of Saturn was established around 497 BC and is among the oldest temples in the Roman Forum. Dedicated to Saturn, the god of agriculture and time, it served as a treasury for the Roman state and a focal point during the Saturnalia, a major festival celebrating abundance. The ruins of the temple feature 8 imposing columns, which are all that remain of the grand structure that once stood prominently in the Forum. The site not only emphasizes the importance of religion in Roman life but also illustrates the economic dimensions of worship, as it was integral to the state's fiscal structure. The rostra was a prominent platform in the Forum used for public speeches and announcements, crucial to the political life of ancient Rome. Its name, derived from the prows of ships displayed on it, symbolizes both military prowess and civic engagement. Politicians and orators would address the crowds gathered below, making it a site for influential rhetoric and democratic discourse. The significance of the rostra extended beyond mere public speaking. It represented the power of the voice of the people and the direct engagement of citizens in their governance, making it a cornerstone of Roman civic life. The Arch of Septimius Severus was erected in 203 CE to commemorate the victories of Emperor Septimius Severus over the Parthians. This monumental arch stands as a testament to the military prowess and ambition of Severus. The arch is highly decorated with intricate reliefs that not only portray the triumphs of the emperor but also include images of the Senate and other significant figures, reinforcing the idea of a shared governance between the emperor and the Senate. The Arch of Septimius Severus is notable for its elaborate decorations and inscriptions that celebrate the divine favor granted to the emperor, emphasizing the intertwining of military success and political authority, as well as the crucial role of triumphal arches in Roman commemorative practices. The Temple of Vesta was a round temple dedicated to the goddess of the hearth and a sacred site where the eternal flame symbolizing Rome's endurance was maintained by the Vestal Virgins. This temple was considered one of the most important religious sites in Rome, reflecting the deep connections between spirituality and daily life. The presence of the Vestal Virgins, priestesses charged with safeguarding the flame and performing various rituals, underscore the role of women in the religious sphere. The sanctuary evolved as a symbol of Rome's identity and continuity, representing the city's spiritual health and moral fortitude. The Basilica of Maxentius and Constantine was completed by Emperor Constantine in 312 CE and is one of the most architecturally significant structures in the Forum. Spanning nearly 100 meters in length, it was primarily used for legal proceedings and public gatherings. The grandeur of the basilica, with its vaulted ceilings and vast open spaces, signified the shift in architectural styles towards larger and more complex designs, paving the way for future Christian basilicas. This structure reflects the political power of the emperors and serves as an architectural precursor to modern civic buildings, making a crucial point in the evolution of Roman architecture. The Arch of Constantine, located just outside the Roman Forum, was constructed in 315 CE to celebrate Emperor Constantine's victory over Maxentius at the Battle of Milvian Bridge. This imposing structure is adorned with reliefs that draw from earlier monuments, showcasing the connection between Constantine and the renowned emperors of Rome's past. Its design reflects the transition from the pagan traditions of earlier emperors to the Christian ideals that would come to dominate the empire. The Arch of Constantine not only commemorates a pivotal moment in Roman history but also symbolizes the ideological and political shifts of the time, making it a landmark of both architectural and cultural importance. The Temple of Caesar, or the Temple of Divus Julius, was built in 29 BC to honor Julius Caesar after his assassination and to deify him posthumously. It became a significant center for the cult of personality surrounding Caesar, reflecting the complex intertwining of religion and politics in ancient Rome. The temple served as a focal point for Caesar's worship and underscored the transition from the Roman Republic to the imperial era. Its ruins indicate a grand structure with fortified presence, signifying the reverence held for Caesar and the shift that would ultimately lead to the establishment of imperial cults and the rise of emperors as divine figures in Roman society. The Via Sacra or Sacred Way was the main street of ancient Rome, cutting through the Roman Forum and serving as a vital thoroughfare for public processions and daily activities. This important route connected key areas of the city, extending from the Colosseum to the Capitoline Hill. As the primary axis of the Forum, the Via Sacra was lined with significant monuments, temples, and basilicas, making it a visually striking and historically rich thoroughfare. Notably, it was the pathway for triumphal processions that celebrated military victories, where successful generals paraded through the streets with their armies and spoils of war. The Temple of Antoninus and Faustina was an ancient Roman temple dedicated to Emperor Antoninus Pius and his wife Faustina. Constructed around 141 AD, the temple features a high platform made of large grey peperino tuff blocks and is adorned with 8 17-meter-high monolithic Corinthian columns. Its rich bas-reliefs and inscriptions reflects its historical significance. The structure was converted into the Roman Catholic Church of San Lorenzo in Miranda, possibly as early as the 7th century. Over time, the temple has undergone various modifications, including partial demolitions and restorations, yet it retains its ancient features, including the cella and portico, which are vital to its architectural legacy. The temple of Vespasian and Titus was dedicated to the deified emperors Vespasian and his son Titus, reflecting their significant contributions to the Roman Empire. Constructed in the early 80s AD under Emperor Domitian, the temple was part of the broader Flavian dynasty's architectural legacy and served both religious and civic functions. Its design showcased the grandeur typical of Roman temple architecture, characterized by impressive columns and decorative elements, though much of it is now in ruins. The temple stood near key structures in the Forum, such as the Temple of Saturn, enhancing its prominence in the social and political life of ancient Rome. The Domus Tiberiana was an impressive imperial palace located on the Palatine Hill, overlooking the Roman Forum and served as the residence for Emperor Tiberius and subsequent emperors. Established in the early 1st century AD, the palace was monumental in scale and featured luxurious living spaces, gardens, and elaborate architectural elements, reflecting the power and prestige of the Roman imperial family. This residence not only symbolized imperial authority but also served as a backdrop for key political events in Rome. Over time, it underwent various modifications and expansions, ultimately influencing imperial architecture in subsequent eras. The Temple of the Castors, dedicated to the twin brothers Castor and Pollux, was built in 484 BC, representing the early religious practices of the Romans. This temple served as a significant site for public rituals, oaths, and political events, reinforcing the brothers' status as protectors of the Roman state. The temple was notable for its impressive portico, which originally featured grand columns, and it was a central landmark in the Forum, symbolizing Roman virtues such as bravery and loyalty. While the structure has largely succumbed to the ravages of time, its historical importance endures, reminding visitors of its role in early Roman society and its architectural legacy. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know your opinion in the comments section, and if you would like, please subscribe to my channel and wait for new videos.